What is going on, guys? Today we are going to be practicing, as you can tell from the title of the video, how I like to practice scales, what my favorite methods for practicing scales are, and how I like to just go about when I'm playing in the practice room with scales. So if this helps you in any way, shape, or form, or if you learned anything new today, please hit that subscribe button. It changes my entire life. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I check every comment, and I like to see what you guys are thinking and what questions are provoked when you watch these videos. So right now, I have the metronome set at 60 BPM, and when you're practicing scales, especially when you're starting out, it is the best way to generate fast results is practicing slow. And the reason being is that there's going to be a lot more time for your brain and your muscles to ferment when you're going slow. When you try to go fast right out the gate, it really doesn't stick with your muscle memory, and it takes a lot more time to get down the proper technique that you're doing. So right now we're going to be working in D flat major because it's a great scale that guitar players tend to kind of avoid, myself included, because it doesn't fall too well on the neck. So right now we're going to be practicing D flat major, and we're going to start here. And the reason we're going to start here is because that's the lowest possible note for us to start on in D flat major. So let's start. So right there, I made a mistake. So this is a place where I should notice, oh, I just made a mistake. My pick did not connect perfectly with the string. I need to go back to that position of D flat major and practice it. Two things to notice what I was just doing there. Number one, if you don't know what scale I was just playing D flat major, but I was using a technique called weaving, which allows me to go into the next position and still play D flat major. If you want to know how to do that, I have a whole YouTube video dedicated to that. You can go check that out. But let's talk about this. So what I was focusing on is really connecting well with my left hand, making sure I was as close as possible to the end of the fret so that I could generate the best tone, making sure that it's not on top of the metal fret, because when it gets on there, it gets muted. Secondly, I was making sure that my right hand was really relaxed. My pick was so light that it could be tapped out of my finger if someone came over and touched it. But I'm still attacking as hard as possible with the string, so I still get a full tone. So right now, I'm going to go back over that position that I messed up on. Even though it was one note, I don't ever want to make mistakes, nor should you guys. So we want to eliminate that. We want to go over that again. We want to do this. And this is a great point for you guys to understand in terms of how to practice, because so many people I see in my lessons and people I work with, they just practice, and when they make mistakes, they don't go over it. The practice room is your time to make mistakes, guys. It's your time to be vulnerable. It's your time to be escape from the prism of feeling like you have to be perfect. And that's partially why I'm including myself making a mistake in this video, is I want you guys to see that I'm not perfect. Jacob Collier makes mistakes all the time. He may not post it on Instagram, or he may not, keep it in a recording, but trust me, while he's practicing, he's making mistakes too. Herbie Hancock making mistakes all the time. He talks about stories of him making mistakes with Miles Davis all the time. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Invite mistakes, learn from them, execute, and focus heavily on the parts that you are making mistakes. So let's jump back into that position. So I'm just going to circle around these two positions because this is where I made that mistake. So normally I would try to do that maybe 10 times, but I've done these scales thousands and thousands of times. So now I'm going to do some different rhythmic variations, still keeping the BPM at 60. And this is a great thing that you guys should do too. So right now I'm going to do up one, down one. So So now I'm going to take that. I made a couple mistakes. One mistake that I made was when I was lifting up my finger, I accidentally hit the open E string very slightly, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to take note of that. I'm going to make sure that I don't do that next time. Now I'm going to do it a little bit faster. If I was truly practicing this like I have before in the past, I would try to do this as slow as possible, maybe even take the metronome down to 54 BPM or 50 BPM. Just so that I'm connecting with the string, I have time to think about my connection with the string, and I can really get the best tone possible and make sure that I'm connecting with it. But for the purpose of this video, I want to go through a bunch of different techniques that you guys can do, so let's do that. So see, I messed up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just focus on the area that I messed up on. So what did I do there? Well, I made a mistake. So what I did is I isolated that part. I slowed it down so that I could really make sure I knew what I was doing in terms of that transition, because the transition is difficult. And then I changed up the rhythmic variation so I could nail down the part. Now, if I was practicing, I would do that for maybe 10 more minutes. Just that. Maybe even slower. And then I would go through, but for the purpose of the video, let's just try to see if I'm any better at doing it now. So it's still messy, so let's try it again. So let's go back to it again. Really trying to isolate that one part now. So I'm being extremely vulnerable with you guys right now, making mistakes so that you guys can see what it takes in order to get over the humps, to get over the things that are hindering you. Because I'm infallible, I'm not perfect, especially on the guitar, I'm not perfect. I can go and I can play things perfectly, but a lot of those times, it'll be things that I've practiced a lot of times. Like I could go, that was in time and perfect. I've played a lot of those lines a lot of times. I don't know exactly what I just played, but I played it perfectly. That's because I've practiced a lot of those things exactly in the same method that we're practicing this right now. So I want you guys to take away from this, and I don't want you guys to go to the comments and be like, oh, you should try practicing it this way. That's not the purpose of this video, guys. The purpose of this video is for you guys to see the best way to practice, the best way to do this. And it's not something to be prideful about. It's not something to be egotistical about. It's for you to come into the practice room with an honest conversation with yourself. What don't I know? What do I need to work on? Because that's when you're gonna make improvement, really. And that's a life thing, guys. That's not just a music thing. That's a life thing. In what areas of my life am I just kind of dancing over? This is a great question you should ask yourself in life and in music too. So if this video at all helped you, please let me know. Hit a comment, subscribe. That lets me know that this is helping you guys, because I enjoy doing these for you guys and I want this to be my career. I don't mean guitar and music, because that's already my career, but I would love to be able to post for you guys, give you guys tips, give you guys tricks, give you guys lessons, and that be a sustainable income. So please subscribe if this at all helped you, because that lets me know to continue doing these things. So thank you guys so much. Let me know what else you guys would like me to talk about, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.